Have you been struggled with how to control water in your watercolor painting? Incorrect control of water always goes against our wishes during the painting process and fails to achieve the desired effect. You don't have to go through the frustration on your own. I have the same experience in my watercolor practice. Through my practice and learning over the past few years, I have made many failed paintings, but now my paintings have improved and I can make many satisfied paintings now. Because I have learned the hard way and summarized how to avoid these mistakes, and today I will share these with you. By watching over this video, you will learn how to control the water, how to avoid and use watercolor blossom in your painting. For wet-on-wet technique, when is the best time for brush stroke? Number 1. Water control. Water control is crucial in watercolor painting and is influenced by two major factors: the amount of water held in the brush, the absorbency of the paper. These two factors are interconnected. Any change in one will affect the overall result of the painting. When you wash your brush in the water jar, it usually holds a lot of water afterward. If you dip it directly into the pigments, the colors you mix on the palette will be very diluted. In my painting routine, I usually prepare a piece of cotton towel to tap the brush on first. This helps remove the excess water. Then I dip the brush into the pigments. Of course, the amount of water left in the brush also depends on how hard and how many times you tap it, as well as the type of brush hair. This is squirrel hair brush. It can hold a lot of water. This is synthetic brushes. It's usually do not absorb as much water as animal hair brushes. Let's do a test comparison. This is very watery brush stroke because I just wash my brush in the water jar and the brush holding a lot of water. Let's do another brush stroke with squirrel brush. I wash my brush and I pat and press it on the towel to absorb the excess water from the brush. The brush stroke this time is moderated. It's not as watery as the first one. Now, I test the synthetic brush. I just wash it, and loading color, you can see that the strokes are not as wet as the second one. It's even a little dry. So these factors are about brush. Now, let's talk about paper. The absorbency of the paper also affects the painting results. It depends on how long you wait for the water to be absorbed into the watercolor paper. After wetting the paper, if you rush to start painting, the paint will float on the surface instead of soaking into the paper. As you can see, the brush strokes will feel like they can't apply color properly, making it difficult to control. The amount of time the paper takes to absorb color also affects how two different colors blend together. For example, when we paint pink and orange petals, if we add the orange petal while the pink petal is still wet, the two colors will naturally blend into each other. However, if we wait until the pink petal has completely dried, the color will have already soaked into the paper as the moisture evaporates, creating a clear edge. In this case, when we paint the orange petal next to it, the colors will no longer blend together. There is a mutual influence between the moisture content of paper and the moisture content of paintbrush. When the paper is moist, the more water a brush stroke contains, the greater the color diffusion effect it produces. You may be confused about how to master the water ratio between the two elements, but it's okay. After understanding this principle, you will gradually comprehend it through more practice. Number 2. How to avoid and use watercolor blossom in your painting. The generation of water blossom is also due to the high moisture content of the brush and paper. Through our previous discussion on how to control water, you may understand how to avoid splashing. Looking at this example, when the paper is still relatively moist, the brush loading colors with more water. At this point, when we draw strokes, water splashes will be generated. The generation of water blossom can sometimes be used in painting to beautify them. For example, in the background of this turtle dove painting, I used the effect of water blossom to create an abstract background. I really like its storage effect. You can watch this video in my channel. Number 3. For wet-on-wet technique, when is the best time for brush stroke? This topic actually depends on what kind of effect you're painting you want to achieve. Through the complementary relationship between the moisture content of paper and brush mentioned earlier, you will comprehend and master this skill in your painting practice, thereby achieving the desired effect. For example, to paint this fluffy pet hair, both the paper and the brush should be just damp. The paper is not be too wet, and the brush is wet but relatively dry. This will create a soft and textured hair effect instead of the hair spreading and disappearing due to excessive wet. To check if the paper is too wet but damp, you can change the angle to see if it reflects light. No reflect but still wet is the best time for achieve this effect. So, these are my watercolor painting experiences that I want to share with you today. I hope they will be helpful to you. If you have any other watercolor painting experiences, please feel free to share them in the comment section. Thank you for watching, and please leave me a like and subscribe my channel to avoid missing more painting video.